Welcome to our third podcast, nerds. Today we're talking about an author, Ali Hazelwood, because we both really love Ali and a variety of her books. So we're really excited to talk to you about this today. Today we are doing a podcast with no spoilers.
Yes,
This is a
no,
first for us.
yeah, no real spoilers. Hello, friends. So spice level feels like a weird thing to say with Ali Hazelwood because there's not much, but there is some when you delve into deep end.
But it is quality.
It
There is
is
spice in
quality.
all of her
So,
books.
but I would give it. I mean, God, I mean, I'd probably give Ali a. Okay, for her general, I would probably
Yes.
give her a 2. For deep end, I'm jumping up to like 3.5.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then I haven't read the paranormal.
The Bride one, we're definitely giving 3.5. I
Okay.
mean, and it's quality.
Well, so then you've read Bride and Deep End.
Yes.
Do you think Deep End is still a 3.5?
Yes.
Okay.
I think they're pretty comparable. It's just there's some things that happen in Bride because it is a paranormal fantasy romance that are a little unique and give it a little
Good.
extra edge, but she does go a little dark in Deep End.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
no, I loved it. Can I tell
yeah.
you, I was so happy because I adore Ellie Hazelwood. I think her writing's amazing. The internal dialogue literally makes me laugh out loud sometimes. So when I heard she was getting a little more spicy, I was all in.
Oh, yeah.
All
Oh,
in.
absolutely.
Now, something else we always talk about on the podcast is trauma level. And in general, I think these are relatively safe books.
Oh,
I
yes.
mean, very benign, kind of a 1.
I mean, maybe for
If
Deep End, maybe just because it gets a little bit darker,
Yeah.
with the themes, but it's not a dark. It's in no way a dark romance. Now, I
No.
don't want to tout it as that because it's
Absolutely
not.
No. It's
Yeah,
just a BDSM.
yeah,
Love.
yeah.
Kink.
It's
Yeah. I
it's
guess that's a
it's
spoiler, but I
it's
think you know
kinky.
that if
There
you're
we
going.
go. It's
I mean,
kinky.
it's kinky. Yeah, a little
Yes.
kink. So if that's something that's upsetting or you new to the world,
Then
take
yeah,
caution about it. The only other thing I'll say about trauma level in this book was, so again, I haven't read the paranormal series,
right.
but my friend called me, and this isn't a spoiler, kind of, but apparently there's something that happens in Bride called nodding. And while the book itself may not be traumatic,
That definitely.
I think my friend walked away a little confused, a little scarred. She's still afraid to Google
That's
it.
one of those things that like I had heard that it was in the book, and then when I read the book, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna like this. And then I read it and I was like, you know what? New
Yeah,
king come up.
that's right. You don't know what you don't know.
You
That's
don't
what
know
I
until you
love
try.
about reading. What's that quote? If you read books, you live many lives. If you just live, you have one
One
life.
life. That's
You
right. That's right.
have so many lives.
Books are great. Books are my
Books
favorite.
are so great.
So
Okay.
let's talk about the different kinds of books Allie writes because we have mostly she writes contemporary romances,
Yes.
right? Based around academia.
Oh, women in STEM.
Women in
Hashtag
STEM.
also a kink for me. I love a strong I love a strong female.
I do too. I love a smart female.
Yes.
I don't like no one in her books needs to be rescued. No one needs the male to help them figure out their lives. They just need a partner who supports them in what it is that they're doing and respects them
100%.
enough to stand next to them and not in front of
Oh,
them.
absolutely. If I, for me, if you just whisper in my ear, FNC, women in STEM, I'm climaxing.
I think that's how I sold her to you
Yeah,
because we were talking one day about books and I was like, okay, so I have this author I love and she writes about women in STEM and you were like, please tell me more.
Well, and the reason I wanted to is so I have a very dear friend. She's Irish, and so I don't. She tells it as if Irish are more modest, anyways. But she is. It's got to be extreme. Like she doesn't like poop talk. She doesn't like real talk. She absolutely will not read spice, any of it. And so you told me about women in STEM, and she is actually an amazingly intelligent researcher of women in STEM, hard stuff I don't even understand. She's a beast. But I was like, oh, can I get her? Can I hook her? Like a romance that has women in STEM. And so when I read Love Theoretically, because that's the first one I read, I absolutely fell in love. But
Oh
I
yeah.
absolutely sent her a copy. And she also loved it. So
So I think that across the board with everything Ali writes, you really need to like a slow burn. And I love a slow burn. I want some yearning. I want to earn the spice. And she's really great at character development. And then that slow burn, when you get there and it starts burning and it's like, oh, and then they finally get to it, it is always so rewarding. I feel like she is a master at this. That's why I'm going to read every book she's ever wrote.
yeah,
So we were talking about categories. So we have women in STEM, contemporary romances. We have the paranormal romances, and then she has a collection of novellas,
yes,
which are not to be missed. I listened to the audio for Hot for Slayer, and it was so cute. I mean, it's quick. I kind of wish it was a little longer, but
yeah.
it's a novella. So, like, I mean, Allie doesn't write a bad book.
No, she really doesn't. And cute's a good word for it because a lot of this, even the spicier stuff, is still there's still a cuteness to it. And you talk about a slow burn.
Hmm.
I don't know how I feel about a slow burn. I like a tension build,
Hmm.
but if it's too slow, typically I will actually lose a little bit of interest, which I find
Yes.
with some of these like cutesy romances, which I adore. I'll lose a little. I'm like, oh god, it's a miscommunication trope or something, and none of that happens in these. And well, there may be some to a degree, but her writing and intellect is so like the wittiness of the characters
Yes.
is what I can tolerate the slow burn for.
Absolutely.
Because
The
I could
banter is
yeah,
quality.
I want like a slow burn, but at like 1.2.
Yes.
So, but I can tolerate this slow burn because she is so funny. Like, Allie and I would be friends. I know it. She might not know
I
it.
know. I
We
feel
would be
like we would
friends.
be
We
best
would be
friends.
best
We would.
friends.
Yes.
So, I love it.
I feel like she has written these books for me because
Yeah,
I just enjoy them so thoroughly.
yeah,
And they're all, some of them are in the same universe. So the Love Hypothesis and Love Theoretically, actually, these characters cross a little bit
mhm,
from one story to the next. And then there is Not in Love and Problematic Summer Romance. Those are related.
mhm.
So, I mean, there is an Ali Hazelwood universe if you
Yes,
think about it.
there
And
is.
even though it is like a lighter romance, it's
I love it.
still, they complement each other.
And I don't say this a lot about my spicy reads because you know I love my spicy reads. I would read this even if there wasn't spice because so like you talk about give me more, give me less. I love the banter. I love the
Yes.
internal dialogue. I mean, the spice is just there's a little icing on the cake. She's an excellent writer. I love her stuff.
I could do with a little less of a miscommunication trope in some of
Yeah.
her books, just because I don't like it. Not that it's not done well. This, if I'm gonna have a miscommunication trope, Allie can do it for me,
Yes.
but it's not my favorite. But there are many different tropes that she covers in these books, and they're great. So
Yeah.
I love everything about Allie. I really don't want to say anything bad, but that's the only thing I could do with a little
No.
less of. But it really, like I said, the yearning, like the
It's so
longing, it builds up to that.
it
You
does.
know, it does, and it makes it better. So while I would like a little less, I don't need it. It's
No.
just, you know,
Well, I think that's why Deep End was actually one of my favorites. If we're gonna go spicy and because like I said, I could read all of these, not have spice, and be perfectly happy. But Deep End too, I love the build up with that because if I'm gonna sit through a slow burn, I want it to hit hard when it hits.
absolutely, I want it to be worth it.
Yeah,
Yes,
so all good stuff there. Do you want to talk a little bit about character development?
we can.
Yeah.
So I think that she does character development probably the best of any author that I read, honestly. But like you said, we have strong female characters.
Mhm.
They're not, while they are struggling, usually socially or just in their dating life, they are very well developed in
Mhm.
who they are. And I really appreciate that about her. Her male main characters are always very well developed. Also, they're
Yeah.
usually also very intelligent, and they usually have something to overcome. So her character development across the board in all these books, even in her paranormal romance with
Mhm.
Bride, was great.
Yeah.
Bride, by the way, you haven't read this one, her funniest book.
Oh my gosh. See, okay. It's on it's
You have to
TBR.
do it.
It's on the list.
But I mean, even with the other romances, The Love Hypothesis, of course, is being made into a movie.
Yes.
It is my least favorite of all Allie's books. I do really like it, but the
Yeah.
character development in this one felt like it took a little longer.
Yeah, I don't know why Love Theoretically wasn't a movie. That's one of my favorite of her
It is. I
books.
feel like that one's next.
Yeah, I hope so. Gosh,
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yes.
Yeah, I love the so you talk about her character development for the men and women being it's really well balanced. And
Yes.
I think that's part of what I love about it because I anybody who's listened to other episodes knows I don't I don't love a really in-depth prolonged internal struggle any of that. And so I think she handles levels of insecurity within the miscommunication trope in a super palatable way.
Yes.
Like there's doses of it which feels human and balanced and real, but not to the point where it's destructive or we're getting like, you know, way too much of it. And the intellect, I don't know if the intellect offsets that or if it's just a compliment. I don't know. I can't figure out, but I love the balance in these books.
Yes, the balance is great in these books with humor. Sometimes they can even be a little sad. With
Yeah.
you know, we cover different tropes, but I like to talk when I talk about romance. Pink covers versus black covers, right? Because
Okay.
when I go to the bookstore and I'm standing there looking at all the covers, I know that the pink covers are going to be a little lighter, and the dark colors covers I'm going to have to be prepared for a trigger warning list. And you don't have any trigger warnings with these, maybe a little bit with Bride, but these are fun. Like I know that I'm gonna have a good time with these.
Yeah.
And this is, I love her books any day, but when I am in a reading slump, I know I can pick up an Ali Hazelwood book, and it's gonna be good.
Oh
It's
yeah.
gonna be fun. I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna be excited by it. No matter what book I pick of hers, I know that I'm in for a good
Yeah.
ride.
Well,
Yeah.
and this is like a good reset. It's a soft reset. If you need a palate cleanse, if you've come from something really dark and you're just like, whew, I want to keep going, but
Yes.
I need a little break. Yeah, it's always a good time. You know, you're going to smile, you're going to laugh, a good dose of spice, but not overwhelming. So it's a really good fit.
Yes, because the spice do be spicing in these
Yes,
books. Okay,
yes.
there's not like a ton of it. I mean, they are smutty, but like when you get there, oh,
Now, well, so you talked about trigger warnings and trauma levels, and we said like super super low. So I haven't read this book yet. I'm still my friend.
Bride,
I'm still stuck on the nodding. My friend and I.
you have to read it.
Like, is there?
It's the funniest book.
Well, I
It's
was.
not till the end.
I
So
do. I'm like, well, my friend. I was talking to her the other day because I called her and I was like, I told her, oh, I was like, we're doing the Ali Hazelwood podcast. I was like, I'm going to mention that you were still kind of stuck on the nodding issue, and she was chuckling. She's like, yeah, she didn't really explain it, and she's like, I don't know. Is this something she left me to Google? She's like, I'm a little afraid what will happen to my algorithm if I start looking this up. So maybe Ali could have just given a little more help understanding that concept.
I mean, they do. They do. Once it, okay, so in Bride, with that nodding concept, she doesn't understand what it is. So he actually has to explain it
Explain it
to
to her.
her. And then you get her experience when it's happening. So I feel like she did explain it in the book.
Hmm.
I will say that the second one, Mate, is actually about two werewolves.
Oh, all
So
right. Love that.
it's
I
a
love
little
that.
different, and I loved it.
Does the nodding
Listen,
happen still?
oh yeah. And she actually in that book she goes into heats.
Oh,
It's a whole
oh,
other
oh,
thing.
and next level,
Yeah,
next level.
next level.
No. So this is all something. Okay, so one thing we always talk about is audio, Kindle, physical copy. How
Yes,
do you read these? But clearly, you like a physical
I
copy.
do. I love the covers. I have almost all the books that I've read, and I actually forgot Deep End. I like the covers on these. I will say that I have, like, physically with my eyes read most of these. For Bride and Mate, I actually co-read. And this is an experience that I think everybody should try. So you have your physical or your ebook and your headphones in, because when I have my headphones in, I'm always doing something else. And
Me too.
that's great, but I'm still fully paying attention. But when you take that book out and they're reading it to you and you're reading along with them, I don't know, it tickles my brain in just the most fantastic
See,
way.
I've never
Mm,
done that.
you should try it.
I might do it on the bride journey if that's what.
It look, and it takes longer because you can't do anything else, because
Right.
you have to be able to sit down with the book. But it's like, I don't know, you almost feel like you're a little kid again, and somebody's like reading a book to you,
Yeah.
and
You're
you're like
still.
joining in. But it has to be good, and these are quality.
I know.
These are, I like to read them with my eyes because they usually are a quick read. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't take a lot of investment from me to get into. It's not like a world building or
Yeah.
something crazy. Like
That's why it's just so light.
they are, but they're heavy enough that like you really felt like I knew these characters by the end of every one of these
Oh
books.
no, 100%. Again, love her character development. It's just like the ease of reading
Yes.
is it's just an easy read. But and so I actually again it's time like you said sitting down and reading.
Hmm.
I prefer to and the only one of her books I physically read was Love Theory. I bought a physical copy. The rest I do Audible just because it suits my life better and it's easier. But I
Yeah.
will say I do think something's a hair missed out. Like, and the narrators are great. Like, I had no problem. Sometimes a narrator will really like scratch my
Oh,
brain in the wrong way if the voice or
yes.
the intonation or
I don't know if you ever listened to The Housemaid by Frida McFadden.
no, I read that
The
one.
narrator on that one does this Long Island accent that is like crazy out of this world. But then the guy who plays Enzo, he's the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
groundskeeper. He does this like Mealy. So when really no, and when like we went to the movies, me and a couple girls from my book club, and we watched it, we were waiting for him to do the voice from the
The
audiobook, but it
you
was
do.
so insane. Obviously, he was not going to do it. But the whole time we're sitting there going, Mealy, no.
No.
So yeah, and the narrator can change the way that you look at a book.
100%.
100%.
And that is the risk of Audible. But yeah. But I did listen to the other ones, and I will say, you say kind of tuned in, and I tried really hard. But with Audible, I do feel like I miss some of it, and that's why even with Allie's books, I necessarily wouldn't recommend the Audible without even like the co-read
Yeah,
because it's the for me,
it's the
it's the
banter.
banter, and
Hmm.
I do get a little distracted. Like, I could tell you what happened in the story, but it's those moments
I
that
do,
make you laugh
yes.
out loud.
I totally agree.
Yeah,
I think reading Alley with your eyes is the way to go.
100%.
But I will say this: that sometimes when I'm a little stressy and depressy, and I do put Alley on in my ear, it's always it's uplifting.
It is.
It is.
It's always nice. Yeah, no, it's great if you just, like I said, if you just need a reset or you need a nice, soft, you're going to have a good time. You
Hmm.
might catch something funny, but you're a hair distracted. Again, Audible, absolutely. And I'm a big fan. I'm not a purist of physical Kindle Audible.
Me
I do
either.
all
Yeah, I
three
do
all the
all.
time.
Yeah,
But this is probably going to be my first co-read.
yeah.
One, because your recommendation. Two, because like everybody has been talking to me about
You
nodding, and
have to do
I
it.
need to hear and I need to hear it and see it with my eyes unfold. Like, I want that experience. But in general, I I I am in love with her banter, and so I want, even though I've listened to some of them, I probably will at some point in my life go back and reread them because I know I've missed
Oh yeah.
a few nuggets, and it's just that's
These are great to revisit.
so good.
I have reread Love Theoretically. I have reread Bride. I just finished Not in Love, but I will definitely reread Problematic
Yeah,
Summer
I was as
Romance
somebody
again.
recommended just recently Problematic Summer Romance to
Okay, so if
me.
you're gonna do Problematic Summer Romance, you actually have to read Not in Love first, and I didn't know that. And I read Problematic Summer Romance, and then realized because they're at a wedding, and the wedding they're at is the one from Not in Love. So
Oh, okay.
it makes sense on its own. It's much better if you read this one
The first.
first. So I
Okay.
read the second one first, and then Not in Love second. It was still good. I knew
So
kind of
much.
what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But this one, A Problematic Summer Romance, is definitely the better of the two.
Yeah.
I'll say that. But this one's short.
You know what's interesting? I have never, you said I would reread these again. I have never reread a book that didn't have like a lot of story building. Like years ago, like I really fell in love with the Harry Potter series. Throne of Glass is
Hmm.
I want to be buried with books. Like,
Yeah.
it's my, it's my love.
Oh,
I've
absolutely.
listened to that 4 times. Now that one I need to read. I've never physically read that one, and
I did.
yeah, that's a journey I want to take, but I want to have the mental space. Like, that would probably be my retirement
I think
journey.
it's 3,556
I'm in
pages.
for every single one.
And I did it. I recently just started listening to Throne of Glass, and I will say that my journey in reading it with my eyes took me 3 months of dedication and not
Mhm.
being able to put them down.
Yeah.
And it was an experience.
Yeah.
Like when you read something with your eyes,
Yeah.
it plays differently in your mind than when you read it with your ears.
Yeah.
So with Allie, I love reading it with my eyes. Reading it with my ears is a different experience. But for me, reading it in the physical book or an ebook,
The co-read.
it made it, or even the co-read, it made it much more personal. And I felt
Yeah.
like I got to know the characters a little
Yeah.
bit better.
Well, it's funny. Like I said, I never considered rereading, but why would I not?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, when I'm stressy and depressy and I
It's
know one of these is going to hit just right, I'll go pick it back up.
and do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same thing with Ruby Dixon's books for me.
Yeah.
And I know that they're so
Valid
weird with
friends.
my blue, and everybody looks at me so funny when I talk about the blue aliens,
Mhm.
but they give me the same vibe as this, but they are way smuttier. So when I'm really just like not in a good space and I don't want a story, like
Yeah.
a big story, I'll go to that. And it's,
Okay.
but that's a different thing. Allie, we're talking about Allie
Valid.
today.
Okay, to close things out, I'm going to ask you a question you're not going to like.
Okay.
What's your favorite?
Oh God.
I know. Sorry.
It's so hard. Okay, for her contemporary romances, it is a tie between Love Theoretically and Deep End for me.
Okay.
They have different points because I like Deep End because it was a little darker. We had a little BDSM in there. I really loved the swimmer's story.
Yeah.
And I love the male main character's development in that because it
She
felt
had more
real.
space for character
She
development.
did.
And well, I think she's fantastic at character development, even in a thin book. And I would say, even I had it somewhere we should have brought it up because I would say it's thicker even
Yes.
than that. But the character development was really beautiful in that book.
But I love
Oh my
Theoretically.
God.
I mean, how do you not? It
I know.
and listen, I hate a fake dating trope. I really do.
See, I
It
don't
is
mind
one
all
of
of
I
that.
don't like it, but I love this book. I love this one. I love the characters. I think about them regularly. So I mean, those would be a tie for first. But if I had to pick one Ali Hazelwood book to
You
take
have to
on an
pick.
island with me, Taken Bride.
Okay. See, so I have to, yeah, I've got 2 out of the 3, so I
Okay.
have to read Bride. Because I will say though, I'm curious because I haven't read Bride. Obviously, Love Theoretically was my very first Ali Hazelwood read. I am like, I was like, I can never get the chase. Like and I love Deep End. I really did, and everything you said about it, I can appreciate and I
Yeah.
can agree with. But my heart, something in my heart,
It
it
got
just
you. Yeah.
pulls to Love Theoretically. It's
So Love
that.
Theoretically would be your favorite.
I mean, I haven't done Bride yet, so we'll do an update. I'll check back in with
Yes.
everybody, but it's like chasing the dragon. Like
So it's the Ali Hazelwood book that you're taking on the deserted island with you.
it is right now.
Yeah.
It is right now.
Yeah.
Well, it might also be useful if I just solve problems. I don't remember all the science, but
She goes so hard
I
on
know.
academia in these
I
books.
love that though.
I love
I
that.
do love that.
Yes, I love that
Yeah.
they make me feel like they're way smarter than I am.
But I physically like so, and this one was good, and I may have laughed out loud reading this, but I know
Yeah,
I
for Love
when I get a
Theoretically.
laugh out loud and a good chuckle,
Oh
that
yeah,
that sticks in my brain. That sticks in my
absolutely,
brain, my heart. I love it. Want more of it.
absolutely.
So right now, Love Theoretically is my number one.
Love Theoretically is up there. I definitely think you should try Problematic
Yeah.
Summer
All
Romance.
right.
This one is an age gap romance.
Oh,
It
I'm not
is.
upset about that.
I'm not. You know, I didn't think that that was something I would be into until I read Birthday Girl, but we will talk about Penelope Douglas
Oh yes,
a whole
we
nother day.
will. We love her too.
We love her.
And we will present some that we are not the biggest fan of.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
it's hard because
I just love
I
books.
do love books. So
Yes.
yeah.
I will say that my least favorite of all the Ali Hazelwood books that I have read was The Love Hypothesis.
Yeah.
Just because, and I'll say this, the character development was great. It was one of her first books, but it just ended. And I was
Yeah.
like, is that it? Was that
Yeah.
all of
A
it?
little bit more.
But I think that's also why she wrote
Mhm.
Love Theoretically, because they do pop up in there.
Yeah.
You know, but
A
very
little
briefly.
bit more. Yeah. See, and I started with this one, so I didn't have that. And I read this second, so I think I was already so okay with this that it didn't hit as hard. But Taylor Swift, who I also adore, says, "Don't you just want to love love? Well, we just want to love books."
Yes, we do.
So,
We do. We just,
so that's the default.
yes. Absolutely. But will we come on here one day? I can't wait for us to find a book that one of us loves and one of us hates, so we can debate.
Okay, well, so I think that might be Binding and Keeping 13. Because I don't know though. Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. I'm gonna try to read these. They're super duper long. I don't love a super sad, very traumatic book.
So
Trauma for trauma. If you're giving me trauma for story, trauma for going on an adventure, I'm down. But if you're just traumatizing me for love, I don't know.
Yeah.
So we'll
Yeah.
see. But
Okay.
that's podcast for a different day.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody, and we will see you next week. Okay.